At the end of the day, here I am at my house, not saying anybody's names, not trying to get in anybody's business, but there's also somebody else going on the 500th rant for the month.
There's so much drama going on right now. Hey, what is up all my social climbing friends? It's Dustin and I am back with another video. As you guys know, it is the weekend, so I do have family over, so this is going to be a voiceover per usual. I just want to go ahead and apologize in advance. I know I sound a little bit nasally. I have like a really sore throat right now. I don't know what's going on with it, but just bear with me because we have a lot to unpack and talk about in this video, because this is going to be about Trisha Paytas as well as Gabbie Hanna. Some of you guys may not know the beef or the drama that has been going on between these two for a while now. And I just want to disclaim up front that I have spoke to both of these people about this situation. I spoke to Trisha about this situation, and well, it was brought up in a conversation when I was in LA with Trisha. I don't think that she would have an issue with me saying basically what she told me. And I have had a conversation with Gabbie tonight. Her and I spoke on the phone. So I don't want you guys to think that I'm trying to be biased or anything in like making this video or whatever, because I'm going to present both sides and then I'm going to give my opinion. And I think that most of you will probably agree with it. So definitely keep an open mind when we get into this. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Dustin. Please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you. I always try to spill the hottest tea and give you all of the background information that goes on behind the scenes and everything that I catch on Twitter. So let's just jump right into this. Picture it. I'm sitting here, literally just doing nothing but watching my friend Susan So Southern. You guys should definitely go check her out. When I get this notification that Trisha Paytas uploaded this video, Why I Don't Trust Gabbie Hanna. And basically this was a 15-minute video from Trisha explaining that she believes that Gabbie goes around saying that Trisha may have herpes. But that's honestly not where this all started. I didn't know until after I had watched Trisha's video that Gabbie had actually posted an Instagram story where she didn't name Trisha, and no one would have actually had known about Trisha allegedly having herpes if they were not privy to this whole story. I literally only knew this because Trisha told me this story when I hung out with her when I was in LA, and I'll get a little bit more into that after this. I'm gonna play you guys the Instagram story. It is kind of long. I will insert a timestamp for you guys that have already seen it so you can fast forward and get farther into this story. I'm gonna play that for you now, and then I'll be back with the rest of the video.
I have a genuine question that I want to ask the general public. If somebody tells you that somebody has an STD, an incurable STD, it comes from a close friend of theirs, a source, and then you find out that a friend of yours is sleeping with them, is it wrong of you to say, hey, just so you know, I've heard this, don't know if it's true, but this person told me, talk to them about it, ask about it? Is that up? I'm just genuinely curious. This isn't like going around telling everybody, hey, I heard this person has an STD. This is, you know, somebody you care about is sleeping with them, and you say, did they talk to you about this? Don't know if it's true. This is what I heard. Just be careful. Check it out. Here's where I'm coming from. If I was sleeping with somebody and one of my friends knew from a close source of that person that they had an incurable STD, and they had that information and weren't like, hey, just be careful, check it out, talk to them about it, I'd be fucking livid. Another question. Would you consider that like gossip and rumors to talk to the one person who it's about and be like, hey, check it out, ask them about it, have an adult conversation about it? Is that gossip, or is that just like being a friend? All I'm saying is I've been being painted as a villain for a year, 2 years, I don't know how long, because I knew somebody was sleeping with someone who I wasn't close with her. I was close with him, and I heard that she had an incurable STD. He told me he slept with her. I literally said, hey, this person I've heard has this incurable STD, and if you're going to continue sleeping with her, ask her about it. Don't know if it's true. A close friend of hers told me. That's all I know. Be careful. Keep an eye out. Use protection. And I'm a bad person, because no matter what I do, I'm always a bad person, and this is why. I have 3 amazing friends that I hang out with. Just don't talk about anybody. Don't do it. Like I'm in my house, living my life. But I snapped today because I'm so sick of it. I'm sorry to like rant about this. I usually try to keep like this like pretty private. It's just I'm at a place in my life where I'm so fucking happy. Like I have great people in my life. Like my friendships, my love life, like my house, my career, like everything's great. And I'm so secure in myself and who I am at this point that I'm so done with bullshit. And I'm so sick of like the I hear that I've said or done, like coming back to me, and just like hearing the things that like people make up. I just, dude, I'm the sorry for snapping, y'all. At the end of the day, this is what I'm sick of. I am somebody who, not to toot my own horn, but beep the f***ing beep. I am so kind to people in my life. I will reach out to you if you're hurting, whether you're awful to me, if I hear all the terrible things you say about me, if you've killed my pet. If I see you're having a hard time, I will reach out to you and I will say, I'm here for you. If you need to talk, I understand. Let me listen. And that's always been who I've been since the beginning of time until now. And I'm so sick of being that person to everybody all the time and then hearing the shit come back to me that comes back to me. And I'm just done. Like, this one pushed me over the edge because it was just like, I could not be kinder to this person to be treated like this. Another thing that I'm realizing I've kind of like grown past and grown out of, because I'm sitting here bedridden doing some reflecting, waiting for a hottie to come over with my leg up because it's broken. When people, like, you're having an adult conversation with them and then they just like start insulting you and they'll say like, this is why nobody likes you. And it's like, what do you want me to say to that? Like, I know I have friends. I know like people like me. You know what I mean? And then like, what did you think? It's just so desperate and like a last like grab at like trying to hurt somebody. And that's what I think it really comes down to is I never would try to hurt somebody. I would never try to say something to somebody to hurt their feelings. I would never go out of my way to like hurt somebody. You know what I mean? And when somebody's doing that, you just have to step back and be like, okay, this person is obviously hurting, because you have to be hurt to hurt people. Like, happy people don't hurt others or try to hurt others. So that's my lesson, is if anybody's ever just like coming at you trying to say like insult you and make you feel some type of way, you already win, because that person is not happy. And just be happy. At the end of the day, here I am at my house, not saying anybody's names, not trying to get in anybody's business, but there's also somebody else going on the 500th rant for the month.
Okay, so now that you guys are caught up, basically I'm assuming that this came from Gabbie, one of the mutual friends between Trisha and Gabbie, Hanna. And I think in that, maybe Gabbie went back to the other Gabbie and possibly said something that stirred all this up again, which led to Trisha making this video. So after I watched Trisha's video, I tweeted out and said, who goes around saying someone has herpes? There's gossip, and then there's just downright being nasty about someone. Gabbie, Hanna, please clarify for me. I don't want to be nasty and no shade is intended. I just genuinely want to know. And Gabbie responded back to me and said, check my story. I never spread rumors or gossip. I heard something, then a friend of mine slept with her, and I told him privately to have a conversation and be safe, as I would hope any of my friends would do for me if they heard something like that. Gabbie then replied back to me again after I tweeted out and said, I think the thing here is Gabbie, Hanna could have went to Trisha Paytas and asked her if she was that worried instead of possibly starting a nasty rumor. And Gabbie replied and said, the thing here is that it wasn't her at risk, and she wasn't my friend at the time, and I wasn't about to approach her with it and start drama. I wanted to tell him to have the conversation convo if he felt necessary, but at least be aware and make his own decision. Now, this is where I really have to like take into account me speaking to Gabbie as well as me speaking to Trisha. I'm not going to get really too far into detail about this whole thing with Gabbie and the conversation we had, but basically Gabbie said some things to me that would lead me to believe that she was very comfortable with speaking to Trisha if she has DM'd her multiple times, even potentially asking her to hang out. I don't understand why she couldn't have just asked her woman to woman like, hey, I heard this about you and is this true? But even with that said, it still wouldn't really be Gabbie's place to go around telling this person, that person, and the other person. And also to add on to that, Trisha is very open about her life. I'm not going to say what life, but you guys know what life I'm talking about. Honestly, she really leaves no stone unturned in that aspect of her life, in my opinion. She's very open and forthright. The real question to me is, Gabbie said that she heard this from someone that is very close to Trisha. She even said that on the phone with me. Number one, why would this person feel so comfortable to say something like this to Gabbie? And two, if this is someone that is very close friends with Trisha, why would they be telling her business if it was in fact true? And three, if this is someone that is very close to Trisha and they're her quote unquote friend, why would they be going around saying something like this at all, even if it was true, because that's not their conversation to have? After the last tweet that Gabbie put out to me, I replied back to her and said, I understand what you're saying, but going straight to the source isn't starting drama. The other thing is, who is going around saying this that told you? To which Gabbie replied and said, but it wasn't my business to know if Trisha had herpes. I have no reason for her to tell me. It was my business to warn a friend that he might be at risk. Know what I mean? Asking her would just be gossip. Telling him to be safe and find out is caring for his health. And then I responded back to her and said, I understand wanting to look out for a friend, but clarifying with someone isn't gossip. Trisha is pretty open about her life. What trouble would it have been to ask her like, hey sis, someone said this, is it true or not? And really thinking about this now while putting this video together, it's not really Gabbie's place at all to be warning anybody about anything. I think when two consenting adults have relations or whatever they're gonna do, that's a conversation that Trisha would have to have with her partner at that time, or any adult for that matter. And I do believe that Trisha would have that open discussion with them. Trisha may be very dramatic, Trisha may be a troll on the internet, but I do think that she does take health very seriously, especially in that regard. So after my last tweet, Gabbie replied back to me and said, Trisha isn't my friend to text her out of nowhere and say, is it true you have herpes? Is very strange, and I didn't care. She said he told me in person, and I responded in person to talk about it with her. Like she said, it's not my biz, it's his. So I said, ask her if you care, don't if you don't. I just really wish that Gabbie would have went to Trisha and spoke to her about this. She didn't even have to go at her with what this accusation was or what this allegation was. She could have been like, hey, this person told me this about you. They say that you're their friend, and I would really like clarification on this because, hey, I know you're messing with my friend. You don't have to tell me, but I would really just like for you to know that this person is saying this about you, just a woman to woman type of thing. And then there was this whole back and forth about this whole party thing. Trisha said that Gabbie begged her to invite her to the party, and then Gabbie said that Trisha DM'd her, and then she went on to show receipts showing that Trisha messaged her and said, hey, RSVP if you're going to come to my party or whatever. At the end of the day, I do feel like this is a missed opportunity between both of them. More so Gabbie than Trisha, because somehow I feel like something got misconstrued somewhere, and I feel like if they both had communication skills to talk to one another better, this outcome would not have happened. I feel like Gabbie should have just went straight to Trisha when she heard this, that she may in fact have this. This whole thing could have been resolved, nipped in the bud, and then Trisha would not have had to like make this video and address this. And speaking of that, when I was in LA, somehow Gabbie got brought up because I like Gabbie's music, and I spoke to Trisha, and literally this is the same story that Trisha told me about Gabbie, and literally nothing has changed. Basically, my final thoughts are, if Gabbie could reach out to Trisha in DM and message her about anything else, and she feels that comfortable in doing that, she could have just messaged Trisha and been like, hey sis, like this person's talking about you, I want you to know this. And I get the whole thing about trying to like look out for your friends, but there's a whole different dynamic to this thing. This is YouTubers, everybody speaks to everybody else. So Gabbie saying this to Jason, and this was a fairly new relationship between Trisha and Jason. There's no telling who Jason could have told or whatever. I don't dislike Gabbie. Gabbie is actually very sweet, or she was to me at least, on the phone, the FaceTime that I had with her, where she was literally bawling her eyes out. I felt bad for her in that moment, but at the end of the day, right will always be right. My opinion is that Gabbie could have done a better job about handling this instead of making this whole Instagram story. I told her that if she feels like she needs to clear the air and get things off her chest, that she should make a video, or she should just not address it at all. I'm one of those all or nothing type of people. I will either address something or I will not address it. I hope that moving forward, they both find peace with this situation. I really don't wish any ill will to either of them, and I would really like to see them support one another, because right now there's just so much negativity on YouTube in general that this is really like the last thing that they need to be fighting over. And I honestly do understand why Trisha would be so defensive in this, because if someone was going around saying this type of thing about me, or saying something that could be negatively perceived about me, I would be very upset, especially in regards to something this serious. But you guys, I know this video is incredibly long. Thank you if you've made it all the way to the end of this video. I really want to know what you guys think about this. I know that a lot of people feel a certain way about it. Don't send anybody any hate. That is not the point of this video. I'm here to spill the tea and tell you what I think about it, and I want your opinions and your feedback on what you think about the situation as well. Leave that for me down below. I hope you all have the most amazing day ever, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.